All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The ace of the ace. The creme de la creme.
It all ends here. Third and fourth place will be determined based on this game. TVT, tal'darim altar. Top right-hand side is the blue Terran FXO Gumio. And on the lower left-hand side, it is the Empire Cast, the green Terran.
It's been a long way coming for both of these teams.
Yeah.
Obviously, 7 weeks of fighting, round robin against 8 of the best teams in the world, or 7 other of the best teams in the world. And here we are deciding the third and fourth place match. $1,000 or all this time that you put into it means nada.
Fourth place, a good finish, but nobody's playing this for good finishes. They want the win, man.
Exactly.
Every time they play, and FXO's got something to prove. I mean, getting blanked in the previous match against Team Liquid, and then here they're going down to the wire against Empire. I mean, I'd love to see some of those blogs from Boss. What's going on, man? You guys should be blowing people out of the water with the roster you have, but unfortunately they're just having a tough time getting there. Of course, there are other regular excuses. Korean time, very difficult for these Western clan leagues.
And
also, server latency.
Server latency, but I know FXO, like, a lot of their players go to school, actually.
Okay, so they're not necessarily full-time.
Yeah.
That would make sense, too.
I think Lenok is one of those players. I mean, Lenok's super young, isn't he?
He's like 17 or 16.
Yeah, 16. He won Rhode Island with when he was 16, for sure.
Okay, so yeah.
Or Providence, Rhode Island. Yeah, Providence, Rhode Island.
So he's either 16 or 17 then. Amazing player.
Mind-boggling.
Absolutely amazing. Now, build order-wise, we do see Gas first for Gumio again, which seems to be his answer to TVT. That's exactly what he did last time. And we just have a Barracks for Cass, so I presume it's going to be 1-Racks Expand versus Gas first, which should be that kind of 1-1-1 opening from Gumio.
In my opinion, I like Cass's position a lot better, but it's only because they're in cross position. If they're in close position, it's a little bit dicey. It can be very troublesome to hold that front, especially with not making a wall. I've actually seen Reactor Hellions be very successful against styles like this.
Sure.
And all of a sudden you have like 4 Hellions going into your base. It's like, crap. Well, I have no way to actually counter this.
Yeah. Well, players are less likely to wall in, I guess, on this map as Terrans because, well, there's no ramp, I suppose. Yeah. You still do see wall-ins, just not nearly as common.
Yeah. I know. I mean, that's exactly what he's doing. And
I think you should wall in every time, personally. You just sometimes see players that don't. I mean, look at here. I don't think that Cass is doing it. Yeah, he's not. So he's going to make a bunker at the front of that mega ramp, but it can get ran past pretty easy. So we'll see. We'll see. This is the last game. It's not best of 5. It's best of 3 in this ace match. And again, like we said, the winner gets $1,000. Loser goes home with, you know, congratulations. You took 4th place. Pretty good.
If you guys are interested, which I know you are, we got 2 amazing teams that will be playing it out for first place here at the NASTL. Of course, we have Team Liquid up against Mouse Sports.
Going to be amazing. And
that's going to be played tomorrow, so definitely stay tuned for that. A little funny that SCV was able to get past 3 Marines. These Marines.
He's elusive. Didn't make it too far, though. I mean, he did see the expansion, which is big enough. You can basically fill in the spaces there. Now, 2 more barracks are going up for Cass. He's going to make a return to that game number 1 build. Meanwhile, Gumio has changed what he's been doing. So he's actually going Reactor Hellion.
There you go.
But he's expanding and making a starport. I think this is the better opening. I'm happy to see him doing this.
I agree. I think as soon as he gets 4 or even 6, he can wait that long because, I mean, how many Marines can you possibly have out? Even with 3, I'm bound to do damage against your SCVs, and all I need is, you know, just a couple to get back into it to have our economy pretty even. And all of a sudden, you know, your fast expansion really was not worth it.
That's the idea. It has to be. I mean, the other side here too is Kaz deflects it, maintains that SCV advantage, and now he's the guy with the better opener. Yes. So it's kind of a game of SCVs, a little bit of a duel going on there. Tech Lab on that barracks, nothing on the starport except for a medevac coming out, so there is the potential for elevator play, as well as healed Marines, and we've seen him do that opening as well.
I do like the medevac. That's just straight up. tal'darim altar is such a big open place. You can see how much room there is, how much perimeter you have to defend. So there can be a drop anywhere, really.
Yeah.
Even over here on the side, just pick up, load up, everything's good to go. So.
And now he's putting the starport on that tech lab, presumably for Banshee, so that'll be kind of a nice follow-up. And I don't think he scouted. Let me check to make sure. Yeah, he didn't see. But since he's facing 3 barracks, that Banshee actually has so much potential. If he was facing the 1-1 follow-up to the expansion, A Viking would just make it so the Banshee seems pretty silly, but as things are lining up here, Gumio's in good shape. Now that Medevac's making his way over here for these 4 Hellions, would you drop them off at the natural or the main, Gretorp? What do you think?
I think I would drop them off at the natural first. And that's just because it's going to be sure damage that's going to come as soon as possible. And whatever it is, I mean, I'm still accomplishing the same stuff and keeping my opponent in his base. And I'm still, ooh, wow, this is a great position.
Oh, that angle.
Get out, get out, get out, get out. Wow.
Only losing 1 Hellion, but frying so many Marines. He did only get, I think, 2 SCVs. Yep, okay. Yeah. 2 did die, and he's going to go ahead and follow it up by just poking around. And again, with no Viking, there's no way to stop this outright. You just kind of have to play catch-up.
Yeah, and he's always going to have position on his opponent. I mean, Medevacs are wow, nice SimCity. Yeah.
He saw that there's no way to get behind that mineral line, but you know what? Even with doing 0 damage there, what he did see is a 3rd command center. That's such important information. If you don't scout that, it's a real strong possibility you fall behind economically. Of course, he has his own 3rd command center queued up, so it's just this more just function as his ability to see what's going on.
So we'll see how he actually reacts to that. It's kind of interesting. You know, it looks like, oh, wow, mech is coming out from Gumiho.
I like it.
On tal'darim Altar, cross position?
Not necessarily this map, but I just prefer mech and TVT. I think if you play it right, it's the winning style.
I agree. I've seen very, very small amounts of people able to actually stay, you know, relevant in TVT with mech.
Well, there's so many counter spaces here on this map specifically, but in TVT, like you said, I think it's the harder style to play, but like anything in StarCraft, the harder the style, the more rewarding it potentially is. So if you're 1 step ahead of your opponent and you're building up that tank count, you're doing a good job of harassing with Hellions, and you're taking bases, as opposed to just sitting down and hunkering on 3 and letting your opponent kind of dictate the pace, there's a good chance you can win that game. Now, Banshee does find a missile turret, and it finds another one. That's it. She's gone.
Senorita Martinez.
That was too bad for her.
Or is it Rodriguez?
I don't know.
the actress's name in Avatar.
Oh, in Avatar?
Yeah. Or in Lost.
I don't know. The only actress I know about is Trisha Helfer. Everybody else is like a...
I don't know who that is.
Distant 2nd or 3rd. What's that?
I don't know who that is.
She is the blonde actress from Battlestar Galactica who did the voice for Kerrigan.
Oh.
Dare you shake your head one more time. I will actually fight you mid-cast. Don't do it.
Who's Kerrigan?
Who's...
How mad are you right now? Scale 1.
From 1 Idra?
1 to Idra.
Like 3 Idras.
Oh.
Trisha Helfer doesn't know this. She was actually my first wife. I do have a story to have to tell Anna, unfortunately.
Trisha doesn't know that.
No, it was a secret wedding. She was actually not even present for it, but
yeah.
we were happily married for like 3 dreams, and then what's that?
I said conscious, not present.
What do you suggest? Okay, Banshee shows up. Hey, look, you're like that little brother that found the one spot you could be annoying. Like, microing the crap out of it, just getting as many kills as possible, but she is up to 10 kills before she flutters away.
Not bad.
A lot of Hellions outside here. Now, this is how Gumio has to play this, and I love it. Keep those Hellions active. Hog the towers for yourself, deny information, threaten the counter so that you can build your tank count up. And if Gumio is able to do that, I feel like he's going to be in fantastic position to take this final game and win it for FXO.
My big problem is once you get that tank count, what do you do with it? I mean, where can you actually push? No, I understand. Okay. Yeah. If tanks are over here in whatever this area is called, I guess the hexagonal area, then it's great, right? But how do you get over there and stay safe with all your bases?
That's a great question, Gretorp.
That's the big question for me.
If your Hellions can keep the bio, again, cornered in his half the map, then those tanks can get over there. If the bio is out on the map, securing map position and really threatening the mech player, which is what they're supposed to be doing, which is what they're doing right now, then it is hard to get those tanks over there, and that's when this map does become problematic for that style. But we can see those Hellions are thinking about getting in there. There they go. Stopping to fight the Marauders, not a good choice. They do like piddly damage. Getting in here, that's the right idea.
Ton of damage being done at the main and at the 3rd over here. You can see all the SCVs being ripped apart, and these Hellions in the main finally getting cleaned up over here. There's going to be a counter.
21 Harvesters killed.
Siege tanks are already in place, and oh my god, Koss has to back out of here. There is no way he can continue on.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is what I'm talking about, man. Being active with your Hellions. Okay, so this is kind of nice for Cass. but his time is going to get outlasted here in just a moment. Does have to back away. But look at the Harvester's kill, 21 to 4.
Oh
Income tab shows that there's 44 green SCVs, 64 blue. And what you can start doing now if you're Gumio is starting to float these orbitals, extra orbitals he's making, float them to bases and just hold them. Because right now the money that Cass is spending is going into rebuilding his economy. And as long as you remain active with those Hellions, again, he's less able to continue to keep forces out there looking for those extra bases.
We can see the income tab shows 46 harvesters to 66, a gigantic lead for Gumio at this point. He's going up to 4 bases, so he'll have a ton of gas to work with. He can definitely increase the amount of factories he has. He can actually increase that by a good, I think 4 right now. 5. Nope, 4.
He's going to push out here. So Gretorp, you were kind of wondering,
oh baby,
how do we get those tanks over there? This is the starting to it, but you know what? I like what Cass is doing too. He's out on the map. Now I want to say this too, look at the upgrades, a little bit different this time around. 1 attack for the mech player, 2 attack on the way, but still, the theme here is that Cass is going to out-upgrade you. 3 attack is on the way, 2 armor is about 1/5 towards being complete. And if you can have well-upgraded Marauders dancing around picking off bases, I don't care if it's a planetary fortress, it's going to go down.
Oh yeah, I mean Marauders are probably the best units for killing any sort of building. And just their destructive force is so good. This is how he's going to use it right here.
Uh-oh. Get out. Get out. What are you doing? Okay, good.
Only gets 1 shot.
Cass not looking around for extra base. I think this is a huge misstep. Okay, good. As I say, there goes a Marine. Splits off. He's going to head over there. See the lone planetary fortress. And actually...
oh, no. Don't run into it. Oh!
Yeah. Planetary fortress should finish, actually, which is the best thing that could happen for Cass, because now it can't cancel and pick up and leave. It's actually just stuck here.
Spread and kill. That's what we're going to see. Maybe not even a spread. This planetary fortress goes down so fast. In the meantime, a ton of Hellions moving over to the bottom position. And wow, that's a lot of Hellions. He might be able... nope, that's a lot of Marines.
He stopped to fight the Marauders again.
I don't know why.
I think that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
Just run past or run away, but don't stop and fight. You're just going to actually lose more.
Doom drop coming out here on top of the siege tanks that are in siege mode. A lot of Marauders in this army.
Great drop.
That's why it's so important to have that air control. No Vikings on the field. Actually, 2 right now.
Look at this. The tanks are going to try to get in. If they get in too close,
no.
He runs in and kills them. If they stay too far away, the bio runs away. This is really smart play by Cass.
Yes, and now taking down the factories. That's exactly what you want to have happen. And during this time, what Cass needs to do is start remaking that army as fast as possible and get it to the middle of the map. You want to continue that aggression, because if you let your opponent just sit and stay wherever they want to stay, he's going to have a very nice push. All of a sudden, your Marines and Marauders don't threaten any counterattacks, and he can just walk up his siege tanks directly on top of the hexagonal baby carriage. That's what it looks like. A
hexagonal baby carriage.
Yeah, look bottom left.
I can see it.
See
I can see that.
No, bottom left, dude.
Bottom left. Yes, that is a better baby carriage. You're right. It's got like the front off-road wheel, which some baby carriage would need.
Yes.
If you're like an active young parents. Now, I agree with you fully. I actually am a little bit annoyed by the rally point to the top of the natural ramp. I would love it if this bio was much more out on the map. Even so, you gotta like Cass's position. Now, if you look at the supply, it's not miles and miles ahead. Harvesters killed 20 versus 25, so this game is actually pretty even. 69 Harvesters for the green Terran Cass and 60 for the blue Terran Gumio, so it's actually pretty even, which means we're at a pivotal point here. That left side expansion was scouted by Cass. He's also taking 6 o'clock. If those 2 bases can get saturated and Cass can buy himself time by remaining active with this bio, that's the stuff of a winning game in this big, huge match.
Yeah, and I think what Cass wants to do is actually start taking these top left, bottom right expansions. Draw your opponent out as much as possible. Make sure that they're just splitting up their units, because if Gumio splits up his units, all of a sudden, even though it's like 4 less siege tanks, that makes a big difference. Siege tanks benefit exponentially when they're in greater numbers. So it's really important to limit the amount of siege tanks that are out on the field, or at least developed into play.
And I actually like this for an attack from Cass. Yep, go for it. Those back tanks didn't siege just yet. He can't continue. He's got to pick off those tanks and run away, which is exactly what he does. But every time, he's killing a few tanks here and there. That point you were making earlier, Gretorp, about how this map's not good for mech, that continues to become more and more true every time any tanks at all die.
That's absolutely right, and I love what Costa's doing, actually transitioning over to siege tanks. That's exactly what you want to have happen. Do we have any upgrades? No, we don't. The most important upgrade is the +2 attack. If you can get +2 attack, it allows you to kill other siege tanks in only 3 shots. So that's probably the most important thing. He needs to make sure that he gets that. But getting those siege tanks out in the field, now it offers another element where, you know, Koss could potentially play a very positional game.
Yeah. I want Cass to threaten that 12 o'clock. There's absolutely no reason why there shouldn't be tanks on that left side cliff. Cass is the guy that's moving around the map, being very aware and trying to take control. We saw a little bit of a poke and prod at that still, I guess we can call it the 3 o'clock base spot that leads up into the main. He got denied there. That's fine. Now he's swinging around the left side of the map, and I love this. I think what he's going to do is just put a few tanks on that top cliff line, but it's so costly because it takes both spotting, which could be either scans or air units, and then also takes siege tanks to dislodge them. You can't use Thors, no Hellions, nothing like that.
Definitely not. And Koss, look at this. He's switched over completely.
But he's going to bring his whole freaking army over there.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure if I love that.
And that's dangerous position to give up,
correct.
I think.
Correct. A couple of Hellions are going to swing over here into this mid-left position. In the meantime, what does he do with all the siege tanks and Hellions?
I think this might lose him the game, Gretorp. I'm going to come out and say it. What Gummio should do is march right down the middle of the freaking map.
Completely agree.
He's like, these tanks are really hard to get across the map. Thank you for giving me all the space I need to do that.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Go take that hexagonal carriage.
The hexagonal carriage.
That's what he wants. And look at that. He's going directly over there. This is a big time. Now, where are the units actually going to go? They're going to go for a Doom Trap. This is going to be a base race. Which player is actually better prepared for this? I'm not sure just yet, but we can see turrets are up. And
I think it's Gummio.
Yeah, I think Gummio is in a really great position. And what does Koss actually do? How does he defend against this immortal army?
You want to know why it's Gummio? 2 Banshees and like 12 Vikings in that Gummio army, okay? So they're going to cut off each other's production. Let's look at the army that we have out on the map for Koss. 4 Vikings and like a handful of Marines, a bunch of Marauders, cool. Some tanks, man. Cool. But what are you going to do about those Banshees, man?
Okay, well, Koss is going to run into some siege tanks. He's move commanding, and he stims. There it goes down. The 2 siege tanks instantly get shattered. And the factories, they're in heavy production right now. But, you know, what of those barracks, man? He can't do anything. And Koss, all of a sudden, he's losing every single one of his production facilities. This is so terrible.
Cass is ahead in supply, and he's got infrastructure outside of his base. So there's, I mean, the army we're looking at for Cass right now could change, but he's actually having a tough time finishing off the main. He's allowed Gummio to produce a couple of Banshees. Here they come. And they're going to do one-way damage. There's actually, okay, here comes, oh wow, it's 4 Banshees over here now. And just the 3 Vikings.
Can't do anything. These are going to just shoot down, nothing to shoot up. So Gummio will clean up his main. Koss looks to be like he's going to be eliminated in this last and final game here at the NASTL. Hold on to that
thought here for a second, Gretorp. The Banshees are getting thwarted. Marauder's going to work inside the main, and if you look, Gummio has packed his bags. Okay, so there's nowhere on the map where there's more factories producing anything. Okay. But that is not the case for Cass. Cass has 2 tanks, as well as 2 factories and 4 barracks over here producing stuff. They are about to be under siege. But he's kind of scrapping together some defenses out here.
And maybe if he can get these barracks to produce stuff, you can see Marines being produced all the way over here on the left-hand side. This is going to be very scrappy. You're absolutely right, Jeff. You can see a weird command center over here, mid-right-hand corner. But yeah, we have no production now from Gummio. You're absolutely right. He doesn't have any capacity to do that.
Well, top right, the Vikings did get cleared up by the Vikings of Gummio. Now 3 Banshees out. And I think the big question here, I mean, of course, I would rather be in Gummio's position, so don't get me wrong. Despite being down in supply, he's the guy with a commanding army. But right now, Cass has to muster some kind of supply, some defenses against those Vikings. If you look at the left side of the base, he's got a couple of Vikings parked there. He definitely has some... Oh, you know what? I mean, things are just getting cleared up everywhere. I think Gummio's got a juggernaut army that just doesn't stop.
No, doesn't stop till he gets enough.
No, yeah, and there's just not enough money coming in. In fact, the money for Cass is completely frozen. He's not dropping the mules that he has from that middle orbital, as well as the left side one. He's got SCVs he could relocate to that base to be mining. Very unfortunate for him, but I think he's just he's not handling this end game here very well.
No, he's not. And here's going to be what looks like the last stim. This is going to do all too well, as siege tanks are just too plentiful for Gummio. And I think we will see a GG coming out from Koss any time now. if you look on the unit counting station, you know, maybe he could have won with superior air control and just tried to turn the tides, but it looks like Koss just does not have any more minerals left.
Well, this just dates back to him sending his entire army to that cliff up there. If you are the non-mech guy, which he did transition into to a certain extent, he had a lot of tanks, but he still had most of his army tied up in bio. Your one advantage is in your mobility. It is not, I mean, Marauders, make any joke you want, they're not a tank. No. Marines are not a tank, so if you don't have the ability to dance around and really get the job done with your mobility, then what are you doing? What are you investing in? And unfortunately for him, he gave up that position, allowed the tanks to overcome their deficiency in mobility, get into that proper position, and then he forced a base trade with a guy who had a better army. That's just not a good idea.
That's absolutely correct. And
wow, he's manner-muling him now.
Such a shame.
he's saying get out. Cass, of course, is going to hang on as long as he possibly... I mean, as long as he thinks he's got a chance. A chance in hell, sure, but a chance nonetheless. He's going to hold on to it for nonetheless.
Well, one way he could potentially win this... not win this, not win this. Go even. This is what I'm sure he's thinking.
What?
Is kill off all of his opponent's Vikings, and then he can't kill them.
Okay. Well, you're right. He does have 2 Marines and 2 Vikings versus...
I think that's the only way he's thinking, like, oh, maybe I have a chance. But obviously we know he has no chance.
He should, too. The Vikings have killed everything.
I'm just saying, I mean,
I hear you.
That's, I guess, what...
I appreciate what you're doing. I'm the pessimist. I get it. And we're going to have our final fight here. And there's that big air battle! Oh, wow, it turns out 9 Vikings do kill 2.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. Koss will fall, and Gumiho, the clutch player, beats Koss 2-1, giving them the $1,000 prize for 3rd place.
Attacking that cliff like you did cost him the game.
Did it? It wasn't cost efficient? So I think he could have just sent like a Marauder, and it would have done the same thing as sending all of his army. A single Marauder.
I mean, I was talking about before he was doing, I would love like 2 tanks and 4 Marines or something like that. Does it get cleaned up by a couple of Banshees? Sure. But the thing about TVT at that stage, maybe it doesn't too. Maybe those Banshees are busy doing something else. The bottom line is you're not overcommitting.
Exactly.
And of course, again, we're in the privileged position. We're the casters. We see the entire field. We're not the guys tunnel vision focused on trying to win the most important game of the clan war. So you can obviously forgive Cass. It's not like this is... Yeah, and everyone makes those mistakes.
For those of you that are kind of unsure about the what we're talking about in terms of the mobility, I'll give you a great example. If you know ZVP that well, ZVP, you don't go mutas for the whole game once they have Archons and Mass Stalkers and Sentries and High Templars, things like that. They're just not cost efficient. So you want to trade out your mutas and then switch it over for something like Broodlord Tech, things like that. Same thing here. You don't want to keep going Marines and Marauders the whole time. You want to just start trading it out for siege tanks, and they become the better, more cost-efficient units.
I get what you're getting at.
You know what I'm saying?
You can actually keep going mutas, though. If you... Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. I get what you're saying, though. Like, obviously... as he's transitioning into tanks and he's just trying to reap the reward from what he had invested in terms of the Marauders, you don't give up that positioning. So a good game to learn from, but congrats to FXO. They do take 3rd place, which means they're getting $1,000 to them. That's awesome. Thank you to NASL and all their lovely sponsors for getting that money together. Who are those sponsors, by the way?
They are AZO Monitors, the monitor supplier here at the NASL. Also, iBuyPower Computers. You see that beautiful computer over there. They're the ones that are actually powering the NASL studios. Thank you to iBuyPower. Also want to thank Kingston HyperX, Cooler Master, and last but not least, Beyond Gaming. Also, check out the giveaway, the AZO Monitor giveaway. You can go on Facebook.com/AZOUSA. Like them on Facebook for a chance to win that beautiful monitor. Also, go to their 800 number for a discounted purchase. AZO is at 800-800-5202, extension 200. Also, check out the Beyond Gaming BG Link app. And thankfully, I have you to help me out with this because you actually have a lot of experience with this particular app.
The EG team definitely is utilizing this. It's a fantastic research tool for those practice sessions. It keeps track of all kinds of important stats like win rates on certain map, certain win rates in different matchups as well. So it really just kind of helps you hone in on the analytics of your matchups and figure out what maps are good for you. It's just a nice, real cool tool. It's also free to download, and they also do a weekly match, just like the Playhem. So you guys actually, a lot of people all the time are asking me, hey, how do I start to become a pro gamer? You know, what should I be doing to be thinking about that? If that's something you're even remotely interested in, you need to be doing yourself the favor and getting that competition practice in by playing every single daily you can get your hands on. That means the Beyond Gaming Daily as well. Not only is there cool prizes, but it's great practice, and it's a good way to get yourself publicity for free. You win a couple of those things, man, people are going to start talking about you. You guys need to do yourself a favor and get at that.
And again, it is beyondgaming.com/page/BG link. So go check that out. The fine folks at Beyond Gaming do so much for the esports community. And, you know, this is, yet again, another thing that they're doing to help us out. So thank you to them. Also, Jeff, we can't forget, thank you so much for coming in and casting with me. It's been a great pleasure. Do you have any shout-outs?
Thank you. And you actually, you know what I just realized? Okay, listen. I did something I said I would never do again. I said in front of people I would never extend my hand for a handshake again, because there's the off chance maybe you look away or something like that, and I'm just like...
Well, you know, you have the handshake of dominance, actually, when you did that. See?
What'd I do?
See that? That's a weird positioning that you have to do.
Oh, okay.
See?
Yeah.
So it's like... thing.
Oh, I like make you look all weird about it.
And we do the camera thing. Like, it's like...
Yeah. Okay,
so,
well... Thank you to you guys for having me out here. It's always a pleasure to cast. I love playing. I'm a player first, of course, but any chance I get to sit behind the booth and analyze players and experience the game from this angle, it's a lot of fun for me too. So I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you to my team, Evil Geniuses, and our wonderful sponsors: Intel, SteelSeries Monster, Kingston HyperX, Sapphire, Beyond Gaming. A whole bunch of other great sponsors that have supported us wonderfully. I will be
myeg.net, right?
myeg.net, which is actually changing to evilgeniuses.net, I believe. Fairly soon we're going to be launching that new website. We got a whole bunch of exciting stuff coming out. There's actually a contest you can win for a trip to DreamHack. There is a contest you can win for a trip to PAX East. Check out our Twitter, all that good stuff. And then I will be at the Lone Star Tournament, followed by MLG, followed by PAX East. So if you guys are going to any of those things, please do come say hi. I'd love to see you. Love to interact. At PAX East, I'd love to kick your butt. Just annihilate you at that booth. I'll be at the Kingston HyperX booth, taking on challengers. Artosis will be commentating. I will be making fun of him. We'll have a grand old time. It's going to be a good place to be. So please do come out.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you tomorrow for the finals here at the NASTL. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you then.
All right. And we're back. Delphi versus Stefano.
They thought they were watching us still.
Oh my god, NASL, your stream froze.